Video. I just want to illustrate some of the basics of using Microsoft Excel as a calculator. It's really handy, if we're doing a lot of work on our computer, word processing or other things, playing on the internet. Excel's always close to hand, and there's sometimes a balance between using the calculator on your phone, for example, for basic stuff. Anyway. If we want to add a simple sum, for example, 2.1 plus 5.3 plus 3.4, Excel recognizes what I've typed as text, so it thinks essentially we're just putting in a word. If we precede that by equals, then that's a signal to it that we want it to do that arithmetic for us. So equals preceding any calculated formula in Excel. We can do other things if we want to evaluate 2.1 plus 5.3 plus 3.4 over 3, for example. The way I've displayed that equation says essentially there's brackets around that numerator, and that's really the role that long line plays. And remember, order of operation is governed by BEDMAS. B says we do evaluate any brackets first. Exponents, things like squares and square roots. The D and the M, essentially the same operation, division or multiplication, and AS, addition or subtraction. So those BEDMAS governs the order we do things in. Evaluating that expression there, 2.1 plus 5.3 plus 3.4. Division is the slash, and then divided by 3, and that evaluates that for us. We can do other things. 2.1 plus 5.3 plus 3.4 squared. So to get an exponent, we use that little hat, which is sitting on the 6 button. So we're squaring that and dividing by 3. Essentially, we'd be evaluating this expression. So I'm putting the square there. And Excel handles that beautifully. It first evaluates the bracket, then the exponent, then the division. And what have I done? I've forgotten the equals. Okay, so that's sort of some of the, that's one strategy where we just leap into Excel and just use it exactly as we would a calculator. An alternative approach is if we enter numbers into cells in the spreadsheet. And then we can do arithmetic using those cells. So I can add the number that's in cell A5 to the number that's in cell A6 and the number that's in cell A7. So rather than typing the numbers, I'm pointing at them where they're sitting in cells. And it does exactly the same thing. The advantage of this approach is if I change a number, I can change it in the cell, and it will update anything based on it. The second example, again pointing at the cells and dividing by 3, and again pointing at the cells. Squaring and dividing by 3 gives me the same answer as I had before. by entering numbers into cells like this, then we sort of not only have that ability to update those numbers if necessary to do other equivalent calculations, but we also get access to functions in Excel. And so if we're looking at this, we're adding all of those observations up. And that's done in Excel using the function sum. Sum adds all the numbers in a range of cells. And here I'm clicking with the left button, holding the left button down, and then selecting with my mouse, so dragging until I've selected all of those numbers. And because the function sum adds up the values in the cells we've selected, it goes off and does it for us. Similarly here, excuse me, I can divide a sum by 3, or here sum squared divided by 3, and that sort of reduces the burden of typing. Again, I can update any of those numbers and everything will update, whereas if I was to need to make a change here, I'd have to go in and change every expression that I've typed. In this particular case, adding and dividing by the number of things I've added is an arithmetic average, and so again we've got further shortcuts available to us by using built-in function in Excel to do that averaging. So entering the data into cells and then using built-in functions can be easier. Just in terms of the operations, we're using brackets. We're using the hat for exponents. If we wanted to do a square root, for example, it's to the power of half. We're using division and multiplication. For those operations, and plus and minus for the addition and subtraction. Doesn't like that, but I'll just ignore it. Okay, so it's a great calculator. Sometimes it, as I said at the beginning, it feels like a lot of effort to do simple things. So maybe a calculator app on your phone might be more convenient. But if you're doing any sort of excessive calculation, probably using the spreadsheet and its built-in functions is the best way to go.